control. Breach in 5, 4, 3.
What's up, guys? It's Uncle Freedom coming to you on another glorious and well-deserved day off. And now it's time to look at something that I've been asked for, and that's some uncomfortable truths about get-home bags, get-home scenarios. So if that sounds fun and interesting to you, go ahead, like, subscribe, tell a friend. The channel is growing. It's awesome. If you need to get in touch with me, it's at Uncle Freedom 213 on Facebook or Instagram, or Uncle Freedom 213 at outlook.com. If you're on either the Facebook or Instagram page, don't forget to stop by and take a look at the Linktree account in the website's portion. That'll take you to the affiliates of the channel, people like Dark Angel Medical, Coltac, Dry Fire Mag, Warren Tactical. Yeah, it's good stuff. If you were planning on doing it anyway, every little bit that you spend there actually helps the channel, and I appreciate that. So the Get Home Bag, Uncomfortable Truths. So first off, we got to talk about like the get home bag thing. So a get home bag is a singularly goal-driven scenario. Your only goal is to get home, right? Like we're not trying to affect survival and build a shopping mall in the woods. Your goal is to get home. That is the singular goal of a get home bag. So now that I've put that out, you'll get why I can pick on some of the things I do. So get home bags, uncomfortable truths. This will be the first of at least 2 volumes, possibly more. If you haven't checked out the other videos we've done, like Uncomfortable Truths of Prepping, 1 through 4, Uncomfortable Truths of Bugging Out, Uncomfortable Truths of Bugging In, and now we're going to do some get home bag stuff, and then I've got some special ones coming up too that'll be probably pretty good. Kind of like some Uncomfortable Truths of Loadout Bags and Minutemenness. That one's going to be fun. So number 1 is you have grossly underestimated how long it's going to take you to get home from wherever it is that you're at. Get home bags are highly dependent upon how far away you are from home. I promise you, somebody's like, I work 2 miles away from home. In my get home bag, I can get home in 20 minutes. No, you can't. No, you won't. You won't. You have underestimated how long it's going to take you to get where you're going. Just everybody does it though. Same thing in the bug out series too. Number 2, odds are that you have robbed something out of your get home bag at some point and you have failed to replace it. That happens to everybody. You were hungry and you took a Cliff Bar out of the bag, or you robbed a battery out of there because your something died, or you haven't charged your battery bank for your phone. You took your hat out of there or whatever. Everybody's done it. The problem is, if we're honest, most of us don't put anything in there because we'll do it later. Complacency kills, man. Number 3, you are not updating or augmenting your bag enough. If you still have your summer moisture wicking t-shirt in your bag and you live in the Midwest and you are current this time of year, you've screwed up. Your bag is a flexible system. I discuss this when I talk about the Get Home Bag in the Bags of Preparedness series. I'll link a thingy up here for you guys. I talk about augmenting and changing your bag to go season to season or time of year to time of year, what you would expect to see, why you would do these changes, but people still don't do it. And everybody's guilty of it. It's not just like one dude doesn't do it. Like everybody screws this up in some point. Because again, you'll do it tomorrow. Number 4, you do not need all those clothes. I have a buddy whose get home bag, no joke, has 3 changes of clothes in it. And when I asked him about it, he told me, he's like, well, in case something happens, I have this. And in case this happens, if it has that. I'm like, dude, I don't know what about you, but I don't care how dirty I am when I get home. Changes of clothes is important, like having an extra set in case something happens, like you get soaking wet and it's cold outside and you don't want to die of hypothermia. Having an extra set of clothes, totally understand that. But for the most part, like that's all you really need as far as clothing is concerned, like your actual like pants, shirt kind of world. Everything else that we'll need clothing wise is an augment to that. So one set is fine. You should also not have, we'll get that in a second. Number 5, you have not put enough emphasis on the 4 B's. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody put this way. Maybe I'm the first guy to do it, but I've always known it as the 4 B's. And that is base layer, beanies, barriers, and boots. Those 4 things will save your life. If you have, this is what I was talking about as far as your clothing goes. Like an extra set of clothes is great. 2 sets of clothes is dumb, depending on how long you've got to go. To be honest with you, if I'm out for less than 14 days coming home, 2 sets of clothes is going to be fine because I can dry one while I wear one. But your base layers, having spare, merino wool tops or, something like that's antimicrobial. It's not going to stink. It's not going to break down. Maybe you don't get fungus and crotch rot and all this other stuff. But base layers are really, really important. Silk weight stuff to mid-weight stuff to merino wool. Like you pick what works for you, but base layers are really important. Beanie. A good solid beanie, whether that's a wool beanie. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the Carhartt acrylic beanies, but I do really like the Under Armour like storm beanies and the Alaskan Hardgear, and my favorite one is the Outdoor Research Windstopper. A good solid beanie is like the best morale boost in the world. If you're just kind of cold, like putting a beanie on makes a big difference. Barriers. So by barriers, I mean something that protects you from the elements. Wind and water are the 2 biggest demons you have to really combat as you're trying to walk home. And that is pretty much true in everyday life. I know working in law enforcement outside, the devil is the 40-mile-an-hour winds in Nebraska. It's awful. And having a layer that I can wear that cuts that wind out keeps me warmer, more comfortable. But it's also important that that stuff breathes. So in addition to cutting wind, it also lets moisture evaporate from your body. Again, a good base layer is going to pull that moisture away from your skin, keeping you more comfortable. A good mid layer, it's all about layers, guys. That barrier layer on the outside, the hard shell is going to let that come out, also keeping you dry and cutting the wind. So barrier is super important. You can do this with something as simple as a Gore-Tex hard shell. I have the 4A2 jacket from Outdoor Research. It's awesome. And boots. If you have a 3-week walk home, you probably should have an extra pair of boots. But good boots. I don't mean the $39 pair you bought at Walmart. Good, solid, broken-in boots can change your world when we start talking about walking. So, the 4 B's. You have to put an emphasis on these things because they will keep you alive. And that is, again, base layers, beanies, barriers, boots. 4 B's. If you steal that, just tell somebody where you got it. Number 6, you have probably forgotten to have your clothing change and your initial boots in the back of your car, not in your bag. I see this one a lot too. People will say, I've got all my stuff. It's ready to go. I've got my get home bag. And they tell me in their get home bag, the first thing they're going to do is open their bag up and get out their boots and their change of clothes to get out of like their khaki pants they were wearing at work and their dress shoes. So I asked them a question. What if it's raining? So the first thing you're going to do is open up your sealed bag in the rain, getting everything in the bag wet, to get out clothing to change with boots that you're going to get the inside of the boot wet. Your socks are going to be wet when you put them into the boot. It doesn't make any sense. I am a big time advocate. Have one of those vacuum bags that you just roll up, the big Ziploc bags. Have something, but have it in the trunk of your car. Think Transporter or whatever it was with Jason Statham. Like he just pulled out like another suit, right? Having a good quality, comfortable pair of cargo pants and a good, I recommend long sleeve shirts no matter what. I don't like short sleeves for the most part, especially if I'm outside a lot. A good, solid, long sleeve t-shirt with a base layer or a flannel shirt, a button-up shirt, a combat shirt, a sun hoodie. There's a lot of options out there, but a good solid long sleeve shirt, good quality cargo pants, good wool socks, and then your broken in boots. Change, get your bag, and leave. You don't need your dress clothes. Leave them in the trunk of the car, okay? Unless you were gonna like get dressed nice right before you got home, surprise your wife. Number 7, unless you're walking only in the woods, and I mean only in the woods, camo is quite possibly the most terrible color you can have for your backpack. Now, I know, like, camo is a lot more prevalent, and it really depends on where you live. Here in rural Nebraska, a camouflage backpack, nobody pays attention to it. But if I go to Omaha, people notice it. Versus having something that's a generic one color. I even think this way a lot of times for clothing. If you have a bag that's just Ranger green or coyote tan or gray or olive drab, they don't stick out as much in the woods or in the city. Black always stands out. Don't do black. But I mean, if I'm walking around with a bag that's this color all the time, I mean, yeah, it looks really cool, and I'm super excited. I've got this like dope backpack. However, if I'm not in the woods, that just calls attention to it. I don't agree with it, but it's how it works. Number 8, I love this one. This is my favorite one. You can't have no military style backpack with MOLLE on it. Somebody's going to zap you. You're just going to become an instant target because you have MOLLE. No, that's not how that works, man. Like, they make random computer bags at Target and Walmart that are MOLLE. Here's the thing. If you can buy MOLLE compatible stuff at Walmart and Target, it's about as gray man as you can possibly make it. It's at Walmart, man. MOLLE doesn't make you a target to have it on your bag. MOLLE is actually super useful and you can use it for things, but MOLLE doesn't make you a target. That whole BS that a military style bag is going to get you got for your get home bag, that's total BS. That's just a load of crap. I've never once ever heard an argument that made that make sense. Now, I will agree with you. If you live in a city and your bag is multicam, that gets people's attention. But if your bag is a standard one color, basically Ranger green or whatever, and you've got a MOLLE backpack, that is not going to make you get got. It's kind of like that old argument about if you open carry, they'll shoot you first. I've not met a lot of criminals that are that observant when they're robbing a store. So, is what it is. However, no, I don't agree with that. I don't think MOLLE makes you a target at all. I think that's crap, and I think that's something people say to justify their own purchase or what they bought with their own bag. Now, for an EDC bag, if it's something you're going to take with you to your office every day, maybe there is an option like a Mystery Ranch Scree or something that doesn't have the MOLLE, or like the new Little Tricks and Switchblades, Gray Man series from Everly Stock, that doesn't have MOLLE on it, but you still have all the same capabilities. But a military styled pack, no. It's the same thing when people are like, he's like, yeah, why not wear a bag that screams, I have a gun on me? The only reason you know that that is a backpack that somebody would have that would carry a firearm is because you carry a gun and you would put it in that backpack. Your viewpoints are not the oblivious people of the rest of the world. That's not how this works. So, again, military style backpacks don't make you a target. Don't let people tell you they make you a target. And to be honest with you, most of the really high end, really solid quality bags are military contractors, because that's what happens. Mystery Ranch, Eagle Industries, Everly Stock, they all make bags for the military, and all those bags become civilian bags. That's how it works. Number 9, and this goes right after this other one. Just because there is MOLLE on it does not mean you have to MOLLE something to it. People in the back, just because there's MOLLE on your bag does not mean you have to MOLLE something to your bag. It's the same thing with like Velcro. Just because there's Velcro does not mean you need to put a cringy ass morale patch on it. Stop doing that. Like, I get it. If you have like something cool that's important to you that you put the patch on there, whatever, man, as long as it makes sense and it makes sense to you. But if if you've got like, if around and find out patch all over your stuff and it's big and you got this giant Punisher skull and a Spartan helmet, no, that is dumb. But however, if you just have like whatever, like something as simple like this, like dead air, right? Or like my Zero F duck, right? You got to go and look at that. Unless you know what it is, it's fine. But just because there's MOLLE on the bag does not mean you need to put MOLLE stuff on the bag, okay? Because I see people do this and they get in their mind that they're going to have all this extra room in their bag because they MOLLE everything to the outside. There is some truth to it, and that is if you're walking and you acquire supplies while you're walking, like you obtain something while you're moving, having the ability to MOLLE things to the outside of your pack as you're moving to free up room on the inside actually works. But if you're starting with everything MOLLEd on the outside of your bag, your center of gravity's off, the weight's going to pull in different areas, the pack is not going to wear as well, it's going to make you more uncomfortable in the shoulders and the hips, you're also going to get hung on crap. No. Slick bag. Just because there's MOLLE doesn't mean you need to put stuff on it. There, if you want to have 1 or 2 MOLLE pouches for a specific reason, go for it. I do that all the time with my stuff. But you don't have to put stuff on there. It's better to have the capability inside of your bag with MOLLE pouches that are holding things that now if you suddenly find yourself needing to make room and carry something you didn't start with, MOLLE them on the outside, now you have the room. Number 10, the bigger your bag is, you need to listen here because I see this too. The bigger that bag is, the more likely you are to fill it with crap you don't need. Like a lot. Like I tell this to people with chest rigs and plate carriers. Just because there's a MOLLE field does not mean you have to put a pouch on it. Right? The more spots you give yourself to put things, the pack rats we are as humans, and especially prepared-minded individuals, by God, we won't pass up something that could have use. You will put too much stuff in there. You will overthink this situation, and you will have so much crap you never intended to crammed into your bag for something that, well, I have my extra American flag in there in case the bad guys come and they'll know that I'm a good guy. That's dumb, right? Only carry what you need. And if you for me, my get home bag is like 27 to like 32 liters, right? That's not a very big bag in the scope of things. I know guys are like, that's too big for me. I'm 12-liter bag. That's cool, man. If I wanted to carry a purse, I would do it in like a Coach purse or something. But if I'm going to carry a backpack, I want the option to carry some stuff, but I don't want it to be so big that I have the option of screwing myself over, which is what will happen. So bigger the bag is not always the better the bag. If you've got like a Rush 72 as your get home bag, you've got this 55-liter bag with terrible back support and harness system. No, right? A 32-liter bag like that Scree 32 I've got, or a 2-day assault or something like that, somewhere between 25 and like 32 liters. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Plenty of room to do what you need to do, and it's not so big you get yourself into trouble. Bonus point number 1. Just because your bug out bag, just because your bag has the word bug out or tactical in it doesn't make it good. I get so tired of hearing, it's mil spec. Mil spec means lowest bidder, man. Like mil spec is the bare minimum standard something meets so we can use it. The minimum standard. Everybody that's ever served in the military, especially combat armed guys, we will be the first to tell you there is commercial stuff way better than what we're issued. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. Like our sleep system, awesome, right? That thing was really great. Our cold weather clothing system, freaking awesome. It's all made by Outdoor Research. A lot of other stuff, though, we'll tell you the civilian stuff is way better. Like every assault pack ever made by anybody else was better than the assault pack we were issued. Period. Just because it says tactical or bug out in the name does not mean it's good. Don't fall into the hype train. Well, I bought it because it said bug out tactical. No. Go to a reputable manufacturer, buy a good one. If you don't know what good brands are, email me, message me on one of the platforms. I will help you. Bonus point number 2. Good gear is not going to be cheap. And cheap gear, most assuredly, is not going to be good. Good stuff is not cheap. Cheap stuff is not good. That's how this is. That's the only way this works. I look at things all the time. Like if I bought, let's see. So this is not a cheap knife. This is a very good knife. This is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 crew wear steel canvas micarta handles. This is a very good pocket knife. This is not a cheap pocket knife. If I had my average Ozark Trail $4.99 pocket knife from Walmart, is it a knife? Yes. Is it good? No, it's cheap. There's a difference. So be prepared for that. Stuff that you're going to depend on, that you're going to count on, which everything that goes into your get home bag should be something you're counting on. Don't buy cheap stuff. I'm telling you. Which leads me to my last bonus point. Cheap and inexpensive are not the same things. I talk about this in match grade. I talk about this in selecting a handgun. Cheap and inexpensive are not the same thing. This is a great example. This is an Opinel. This is a carbon steel Opinel number 9. This is a $12 pocket knife. This is an inexpensive, high carbon steel, extremely good pocket knife. This pocket knife is 11 years old, and you can tell by the blade, it's all black and patinaed. It's got the vibra lock, or whatever it's called, the locking collar on it. I can lock it open, I can lock it closed. I have used this for all kinds of crap. Cleaning animals, food prep, whittling sticks, carving bowls and spoons, doing field craft work, woodscraft work, hunting, doing, just making pointed sticks because I'm a boy and I get bored, right? Like every man's done that. These are awesome. And this is like a $12 knife. This is an inexpensive, amazing tool, but it's not cheap and they're not the same thing. So guys, there you go. Volume 1, Uncomfortable Truths of Get Home Bags. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Episode 2 will be on the way. Go ahead and check out some of those other things like the Modern Minutemen series that we're diving off into, the other prepping videos. But go ahead, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and until next time, I'll see you later.